So what is intermittent fasting, and will it most importantly work for you? The short answer to that is abso-freaking-lutely, babe. It does work. In fact, it was an intricate part of how I started my weight loss journey, and I'm going to tell you why I believe this is actually the very first step to your weight loss journey so that you have maximum success. Before we get into that though, let's talk about what intermittent fasting is. Intermittent fasting in a nutshell is where you eat during a small window of time, and then outside of that time, you are fasting, which means you're only drinking water and herbal teas, no food. Okay, so the typical fasting period is 16 hours of fasting, 8 hours of eating. So if you do the math correctly, basically assuming that you sleep typically 8 hours, that would literally be you stop eating 4 hours before bed and you don't eat 4 hours after you wake up. So it's really not that bad, okay? So there's a sliding scale. You can choose to do the 18-6 rule, which means you fast 18 hours and you only eat 6, or maybe you fast 14 hours and you only eat 10. Okay, there's no right or wrong spectrum on it. It's what works for you and your lifestyle. Okay, so I do the 16-8 rule because I find that there's a lot of benefits to that, and really only stopping and not eating 8 hours in waking time sounds a whole lot better than being awake the whole time and not being able to eat. That's not appealing to me at all, and I'm sure it's not to you, but it's doable. Okay, so personally, again, it's about what works for you. So I like to have coffee in the morning to kind of get the engine running, right? So I do allow myself to have coffee with heavy cream or half and half in the mornings. I do not use sweeteners in my coffee. So if that's you and have a cup of coffee in the morning, then allow yourself to have that cup of coffee during your fasting period, because I promise you, you won't. There's not a difference. Okay, you will survive. You'll totally be fine, and it'll be what allows you to maintain and to get excited about it and to stick with it. Okay, so that is the intermittent fasting in a nutshell. Now, there are numerous benefits to intermittent fasting, which is why I chose to start my weight loss journey with this process. Okay, because the key benefit I noticed in intermittent fasting as my personal review would be that it shrinks your appetite. See, when you're first starting out, we get these hunger pains, right? And the reason is because we just cut everything out. We're like, stop snacking, stop doing everything, right? And what happens is we get hungry, and we're hungry all the time because we're used to having like little snacks here and there throughout the day, eating our meals and living our best unhealthy life. Okay. And so when you start this process, what you'll find is that over a short amount of time, you will naturally not be as hungry, right? You will naturally stop snacking because you're not as hungry. On top of that, when you have meals, you will eat less. So maybe you're a eat a whole pizza type of person. When you start incorporating intermittent fasting, when you start having pizza, you'll notice instead of eating a whole pizza or half a pizza, you're now actually full after only having a couple slices, because your appetite has shrunk, and really decreased, which is a huge benefit when you're starting your weight loss journey. And that really helped when I started my journey. So that's why I think it's like the number one thing that you should start when you do your weight loss journey, because it's like multiple benefits. On top of that, it's kind of cleansing out your body. Right, there's a lot of benefits to fasting in the fact that it cuts down on your feeling heavy and feeling bloated, right? You don't feel bloated anymore. And you start having an increase in energy, like you're waking up before your alarm. I used to wake up and hit that snooze button like 4 times, right? Which is silly because you're only getting an extra like 5 hours of snooze time, which you really aren't sleeping those 5 minutes. But that was a whole side note, but that's what I used to do. Now I naturally wake up before my alarm, and I'm not tired. I'm not exhausted. I actually have energy. I'm ready to start my day and rev the engine, right? And again, you don't feel as bloated. You don't feel so heavy, and you're not eating as much. So there's super mega benefits to this. It also cleanses your body out and rids it of all these toxins that our body is so used to consuming and having all the time. So I definitely recommend that you give intermittent fasting a go. I didn't say a try, because we don't try things, we give it a go, okay? We commit. But the key to intermittent fasting is consistency, is incorporating this as a part of your routine. Like how we wake up every day and we go to the bathroom and we brush our teeth and we have our morning routine just like we have our nighttime routine. Same concept is that this just starts to become a natural habit of yours, where it starts to become something that you just practice daily. And before you know it, it will just become natural to you, where you will just naturally do this and you will start to notice how much better you feel. And that's really the key benefit here, right? Because weight loss is so much more than a numbers game on the scale. It's how you feel. And you don't feel so heavy. You feel so much better. And that's really, it's when you do a feel check and you don't realize how different you feel until you switch your lifestyle, is that because you're so used to being tired all the time, or just not wanting to do anything, and lacking energy, and having, all of these brain fogs and lacking productivity and just feeling bloated all the time. And you don't realize what feeling that's like because you've become so accustomed to that feeling, that you don't realize how different it is when you start to do things like intermittent fasting. You start to clean up what your daily life is like. And then when you go and have a splurge meal or something, you totally will notice the difference. And then you're like, it's like an icky feeling now, where you're like, ew, I don't feel good and I don't like this feeling anymore. And when that switch happens, the magic happens. All right. So get out there and implement intermittent fasting into your lifestyle, because I promise you it will be like really life-changing for you. It will really, most importantly, aid in your weight loss journey and be this like crucial part of it. And you're going to see that like this alone has so many benefits to it. And there's a lot of different fastings out there. You know, if you watch another video of mine, I do walk you through the knockout fast, which is guaranteed to lose 3 to 5 pounds in 48 hours when you just do fasting. And don't think that the knockout fast is not about starvation. Okay. It's actually, I tell you can eat as much of certain foods as you want throughout an entire day. So if you incorporate intermittent fasting into your lifestyle, you're going to just love your new life and you're going to feel so much better. All right. So give intermittent fasting a go. We're not trying things out. Okay. This is not like you're going to try it on. If it doesn't work, you're going to ditch it out. You got to give it an honest effort, right? Doing something one time and being like, it didn't work. I did not drop 100 pounds in 24 hours. It doesn't work. I'm moving on. This is why things don't work. Okay. Is you have to give it a go, an honest commitment. You have to sit there and say, okay, I'm going to do this for 30 days. If you commit to doing intermittent fasting for 30 days, let me see how I feel after 30 days. Then you're making more of an informed decision than an irrational decision, an abrupt decision, right? We want to make informed decisions. So the only way you're going to do that is by seeing how your body is responding to intermittent fasting, because our bodies are uniquely designed, right? It's not a one size fits all. So give it a go, see if it works for you, if it's something that you enjoy, and the rest will be history. All right. So add intermittent fasting into your weight loss journey, and I promise it'll be one of the best decisions you've ever made, and you'll never look back. In fact, it will become so habitual, you will like literally probably do this for the longevity of things, even after you've reached your weight loss goal. Just like me, I still do intermittent fasting because it's just so natural and I just enjoy it. And it's like, I just like how I feel. And this is what I want for you. All right, so let's do it. Let's incorporate it into our regular life, and the rest will be history. You will absolutely love how you feel, most importantly, babe. All right, I'll talk to you soon.